For more, let me bring in Barbara Boxer of California, who sits on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Senator, good to have you with us tonight.
Nice to be with you, Ed.
How do you think we should be handling this crisis right now, and what are your expectations of the Congress at this point?
The Congress has to pull together and back the president on this. I think the president has been working very hard to put together a coalition to go against ISIS. Now we forget sometimes who ISIS is and what they believe in. They believe if you don't see the world as they do in terms of this very strict interpretation of Islam, okay, that you either convert or they kill you. I mean, this is an incredible terrorist organization. We've seen the way they act, the way they have treated people who are just innocent, freelance journalists, beheading them to Americans. Our president is the commander-in-chief. ISIS is an imminent threat. We ought to be backing the president. He has got 9 nations now to help us. He's got NATO to help us. He's going to the UN to get them to help us. The Arab League has said we have to take action. So he's pulling together the world. You'd think that the Republicans would be part of that world coalition, because no one will be left safe in this world if we don't bear down on this group.
Yet we don't hear from the other side, we'll work with the president to protect this country. I don't hear that.
No, you're right.
And that bothers me as an American taxpayer, that gaining political points is far more important than protecting the country right now. Now, at least that's the attitude that the Republicans are showing out there. They're pointing the finger at the president is what they're doing.
Look, Ed, they have said it. You have to see what people have said. When Mitch McConnell said, I have one priority, and that's making this president look bad, trying to defeat him in his last election, that's what they care about. And now all they care about is taking back the Senate. That's all they care about. So if there's one point in history, and it's coming tomorrow night, when this president is going to go out to the American people, and I can tell you, he has worked hard to get the world united here. The people of this country are going to unite behind him. And frankly, if they don't act as if they're part of this fabric of this nation against ISIS, I think then they will suffer. I hope they will suffer, because this is a time for us to put aside the D label, the R label, the I label, whatever label we hide behind, and be Americans who want to stand up to this threat, but not do it the way we did Iraq, with walking into the middle of a civil war. That's not what we're doing, Ed. You know, we're going forward, and we have combat boots on the ground in Iraq that are not our combat boots. So I think this president knows what he's doing. He is deliberative. You're right. He does wear a tan suit once in a while. But let me tell you, he's decisive once he has all the facts on his plate. And I want a deliberative president. We know what happens if you don't look at all the unintended consequences. We were in Iraq with losing 4,000 soldiers, tens of thousands injured, some the worst injuries imaginable, and to no end.
Senator, do you want to vote in the Senate on this? I
don't mind voting at all, but I want to make a point here. No president has ever had to have a vote when he's just doing airstrikes in history, number one. Number two, we've never had a vote unless the president asked for a vote in history. So those are two things we have to remember. And the third thing I want to point out, I did vote to go after the terrorist groups that are coming after us. I did vote. I voted no on the Iraq war. I voted yes to go after al-Qaeda. And this group, ISIS or ISIL, however you call them, they're a definite outgrowth of al-Qaeda. So I feel I have cast my vote. But I don't mind voting at all. I know how I feel about this. We've got to stop them with a world coalition, and that's what the president is doing. It would be nice if the Republicans joined our coalition.
Senator Barbara Boxer with us tonight here on The Ed Show. Thanks so much.